Happy holidays and welcome to DCTV's 24-hour special event in honor of Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is a global generosity movement that unleashes the power of people and organizations to transform communities and the world. And this year, DCTV is thankful to support our community of vibrant local nonprofits. I'm Sydney Flowers, Director of Production at DCTV. Our mission is to tell stories that matter to help our communities thrive. And today we're showcasing DCTV original programs that tell meaningful stories of local nonprofits who work every day to make DC a better place to live. This is just one way we amplify voices in our community. DCTV is your local public media platform, and we are proud to be included in this year's catalog of philanthropy. We hope that you discover something new, exciting, and meaningful. To learn more on how you can best support DCTV, scan this QR code. You can also subscribe and follow us at Your DCTV on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you for watching Meaningful Media on DCTV.
Hello, I'm Carmen Stanley, Multimedia Operations Supervisor and Producer at DCTV. Health services are a vital part of our lives in the district and beyond. Whether it's physical health, mental health, or practicing wellness, it is important to provide support, impart knowledge, and empower individuals to take care and advocate for themselves. The following nonprofit organizations work in and with our communities to do just that. The organizations are Capitol Hill Counseling and Resource Center, Prevention of Blindness Society of Metropolitan Washington, the McClendon Center, Dreaming Out Loud Inc., Black Girls Cook, PIZZAZZ, and Friends of Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens. Thanks for watching Giving Tuesday on DCTV. Enjoy the program.
Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens is special because it is a wonderful link between a beautiful green space and the wonderful community that we're surrounded by. People can enjoy all of the flowers blooming multiple times in different seasons, can go onto the boardwalk through the marsh and enjoy all the plants and bird life out there. And we're also connected to the Anacostia River Trail, which is an 11-mile bike trail along the beautiful Anacostia River. We're really lucky to be able to partner with the Friends of Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens on the Wilderness series as an opportunity to create a really fun and inviting space for community members to find health in these parks, to become inspired in these parks, and to build community in these parks.
So the Friends of Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We're the official philanthropic organization to the National Park Service, and we are here with an express purpose to let our visitors know that they are welcomed, and we want them to be well entertained and feel that this is a safe space to be. So our wilderness program is a play on the words wellness and outdoors, and we recruit instructors who live in the community because the Ward 7 area, specifically this Kenilworth Park area, is a predominantly Black neighborhood, and a lot of the folks who live in the neighborhood don't regularly access green spaces or nature, so we wanted folks to see that their fellow community members, residents frequent this park and enjoy it. And if they're leading sessions and recreational events outdoors, we want them to see that they can also take ownership of the park.
Balance and exhale out. Tai Chi, helping the wellness program, it gives you a peaceful activity that you can actually participate as a unit. So you don't have to be fit. You just have the desire to participate in something new.
The wilderness program helps me to, one, remember my childhood, to exercise with adults now, you know, and get that experience of being outside and listening to the nature itself.
I think it's important to have those programs because some people, they just don't have the knowledge or the availability or resources to practice those activities.
When the Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens reached out to me, they want to serve the community. And community deal with infant, child, adults, and people who live in a close proximity. And I notice from my other areas of teaching, when people see someone who looks like them doing the activity, it sparks their interest and motivation in it.
it is important to have, I would say, people that resemble the community to be here as well, not only as an identification point, but also as an encouragement point.
Since I started working with Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens in March this year, I've had this wonderful opportunity and feel really lucky and fortunate to get to serve this community every day.
Dreaming Out Loud is increasing access to healthy food and improving community health through the crops it grows at its farm and through the bellies it feeds through its cooperative program. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, the nonprofit served over 250,000 meals to the community. Today, I'm joined by founder and executive director Christopher Bradshaw. Good to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
So your organization is obviously trying to tackle food insecurity, but you're also trying to close the wealth gap and the economic insecurity gap that already exists in DC. How does your community-supported agriculture program, or CSA program, try to affect that and close that gap?
Yeah, absolutely. So our Black Farm CSA has many stakeholders. One, folks who are struggling with food insecurity. B, I would say, folks that are searching for sustainable employment. And finally, farmers who need sustainable revenues. And so we really work to weave all those different impacts into the Black Farm CSA. For folks that need access to fresh, healthy produce, folks can come pick up at a farmer's market right there in front of Kelly Miller Middle School from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday. We're out selling the produce that we grow at the farm at Kelly Miller, but we're also able to deliver that where folks live, work, and play. So we can drop off at, a community center or a church or another faith-based institution. Wherever folks are, we can reach them. And all that activity helps us to procure from Black and brown farmers and socially disadvantaged farmers from across the region and other farmers that share our values, inclusion and equity. And along the way, we're creating jobs for folks within the communities that we are a part of and are situated in. And so we really want to build in as many impacts as possible with the Black Farm CSA that can help people not only be fed physically, but fed spiritually and holistically and driving community economic development at the end of the day. Farmers are entrepreneurs. We often don't think of it that way or speak of farmers in that way. But knowing that there's someone that's going to buy your product at the price point that you need and make it easy for you to connect those dots between their products and the customer is one of the gaps that we fill. And that helps farmers to be more predictive in terms of what they're putting in the ground, knowing that they have a customer that's going to buy it. That means that they can be more predictable in terms of the revenue that they generate and better plan and make better use of the land. And then finally, that helps sustainability so folks can retain farm land, so folks can advance towards land ownership if they're not already in that situation. And all those things are powerful impacts that drive wealth creation over time. And that's the kind of impacts that we want to have, multiple layers for multiple parts of the community.
And speaking of sustainability, you report that about 100 years ago, 14% of farmers in the U.S. identified as mixed race or Black, but today it's only 1.4%. How did that occur, and how does the DREAM program kind of try to work on those numbers?
Right, so that occurred through the violence of racialized violence around land and wealth. You think about lynchings. Lynchings were actually crimes of economics oftentimes. When Black farmers were able to, coming out of chattel slavery and coming out of sharecropping, were able to become some of the best farmers around. And so when those advantages that we gained in our oppression became profitable, some folks wanted to take the opportunity to find ways to disempower, to dispossess Black folks of that land and that wealth creation over time. And so you have other aspects of public policy, whether it's redlining or discrimination with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, to be able to access loans and technical assistance that could drive, mechanization or other aspects of market access. Those things compounded themselves to drive the racial wealth gap. You look at other aspects of discrimination in the employment markets and what have you. All these things compound themselves and put us in this situation where we are today, where communities often don't have the income levels to support farmers at the price points that they need to sustain their farms. And so we sit in the middle and have to bridge some of these gaps so we can make long-term solutions. Again, driving long-term repair through both public policy as well as the action that we control with our pocketbooks and our wallets to drive, long-term bridging of the racial wealth gap and equity overall.
And can you tell me how your organization is kind of working to dispel that gap specifically, to maybe encourage more people of mixed race or Black people to become farmers themselves?
Right. In order for that to happen, farming has to be a profitable enterprise. That means folks need the right price points for what they're producing so that they can retain their land, so that they can pay their workers fair living wages. And it has to be a prospect that is worth going into for young people. The average age of a Black farmer is more than 64 years old. We have a general problem with farmers aging out, but we have a very acute problem within our community that we believe that if you can make it a viable future for someone, then they'll go into that field. But you have to have pathways for that to happen, and you have to have a sustainable, viable living wage and opportunities within that field. And so we're doing that by several different ways. We have the Dream Black Food Fund, where we've subgranted more than $140,000 to Black farmers, food makers, and producers, helping folks across our farmer network to build wells, hoop houses, and to build capacity so we can make these things true. And that's all connected to a part of an ecosystem where we're driving revenue to them as well, through not just our Black Farm CSA, but our wholesale operations. And very soon we'll start to roll out some other products where folks can, vote with their stomachs to buy soup or granola or salad dressing that drives revenue to those farmers that our community is able to produce deep within and situated within communities, and then employing folks that want to be a part of the solution and drive more jobs and wealth creation in their own community.
Really great work. If someone wants to know more about your organization, what is your website? Where can they go?
Yeah, they can come check us out at dreamingoutloud.org or follow us on social media at DOLDC across Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all other platforms.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Check us out, csa.dreamingoutloud.org, and get your Black Farm CSA today.
4 decades ago, the McClendon Center was founded to serve people with mental health issues and the economically disadvantaged. In any given year, the nonprofit supports more than 4,500 people, most of whom are from the city's 7th and 8th wards. Today on Impact Moment, I'm joined by Shandanita Dyson. She is the president and CEO of the McClendon Center. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So let's start by kind of giving an overview on your clients. Most of them, 75% of them, are low income from wards 7 and 8, but of course their needs are not homogenous. How do the McClendon Center's programs kind of meet them on a more personalized level?
Thank you for that question. The McClendon Center has a long track record of really working with adult consumers, meeting them where they are, meeting them in their homes, in their communities, wherever they feel most comfortable. So it's important for us to see each individual as individuals. So we have dedicated staff who work one-on-one with individuals to identify what their goals are. McClendon Center it's so important for us to have a person-centered approach to treatment. So sitting down with someone, talking with them about what their needs are, what their goals are in life is where we start, and then we go from there.
And you have a lot of programs where you go from there, from counseling all the way to housing assistance. Your day program has 4 tracks: clinical skills building, client empowerment, substance abuse recovery, and expressive arts therapy, which I thought was very unique. How does working the right side of the brain, instead of just focusing on those other areas too, which are just as important, but how does working with art make someone more sociable and more confident?
Great question. When I think about general treatment services, we think about one-on-one care, we think about psychiatry, we think about therapy. but there are so many other opportunities for individuals to really focus on treatment. Our McClendon Center Day program has a unique opportunity to do just that. We focus on horticultural therapy, we have art therapy, we have movement therapy. Just imagine if you're depressed, what a song could really do to you and get you up and moving and make you feel like you can express yourself, even if the words can't come out of your mouth. Body movement, drawing, all these things are wonderful ways for individuals to express themselves. So identifying alternative therapies as a different approach to treatment has been great for many of our consumers. We find that that type of expression allows a lot of people to open up, like I said, when they don't have the words, they have the movement, they have the art, they have the plants.
And tell me about how the McClendon Center sort of addresses stigmas that you might encounter when it comes to mental illness. Like most of your clients have depressive disorders. How do you work with them maybe on the stigmas that they might have themselves, but then also address that within the greater community?
Yeah, a lot of that is education. When you attempt to educate individuals about mental illness, especially if they don't know about it, it gives them the opportunity to learn more and kind of broaden their horizons and work with individuals who are really struggling. When an individual has a support system around them that is fully educated, a lot of that stigma goes. And then we talk about the broader community. Mental illness, in some ways, it's heard about a lot. In a lot of ways, it's still unknown to a lot of individuals. So if we're here to provide a presence in the community, to educate others, to show them what real support really could do, we go a long way with destigmatizing mental illness.
And if someone wants to learn more about the McClendon Center, how can they find you? What's your website?
The McClendon Center's website is www.mcclendencenter.org.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today to join me, and thank you for all the great work that you're doing in the community as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I was like 13 when I first joined, 12 or 13 when I first joined Black Girls Cook. I wanted to learn how to cook. See, I always loved to cook, but I wanted to learn like more skills, you know, the more professional side instead of just going in the kitchen and start cooking.
I first started in the fall of 2016. I was 9 years old. My mother, she automatically knew that I would be interested in something like this. And I was really excited to become a part of the Black Girls Cook family. As a chef instructor, my favorite part is teaching the girls how to make healthier foods. I think it's really cool teaching young girls about food and health and like food hygiene.
I agree. I like meeting new people, creating new bonds with people. It makes me feel good because I get to work with like people that are younger than me and I get to help them.
The life skills that I've learned is to be open to new foods, you know, learning new things, meeting new people, learning new dishes.
I learned how to be more open, like when trying food from different countries. Don't be like, ew, this is nasty. Be like, this is different. And I also learned, like I was saying, patience and how to take things slowly and be calm.
I wasn't a part of Black Girls Cook. I feel like I'd definitely still be cooking, but I'd be more into music. I love playing the guitar.
I would definitely still be cooking. Cooking is like a passion of mine. Like I can't not cook even if I wanted to. I learned a lot about presentation. Like I could always cook, but it might look like it's not gonna look that good. But now since I've been doing Black Girls Cook and teaching classes, I learned the importance of presentation, making your food look and taste good.
Black Girls Cook has definitely helped me be passionate about baking and cooking, moving from Black Girls Cook to being on national TV for networks, Kids Baking Championships, and my finalists.
So Black Girls Cook has encouraged me to take cooking seriously. It's not just something that I do when I get home after school. It's something that I'm making into a career.
I feel like Black Girls Cook, with my career in cooking, it definitely went from a hobby to a passion. So something that I definitely enjoy to do.
if you like cooking or if you want to learn how to cook, don't wait. Join one of the classes.
Cooking is a necessity that you need to have in life. So, just try new things. You might like it. I'm sure you'll love it. I loved it. Like, even when I applied for it, I was interested in it, but I was sort of scared because I didn't really know much about it. But you don't have to know much about it because we're here to teach you and accept you into the Black Girls Cook family. Eat well.
Black Girls Cook.
The Capitol Hill Counseling and Resource Center was created to address the mental health needs of all DC residents, regardless of income levels. The nonprofit is getting ahead of mental health issues by addressing potential stressors surrounding health, education, finances, and just being a youth. Welcome to Impact Moment, brought to you by DCTV. I'm Rebecca Burnett, and today I'm joined by founder and board member Dr. Emil Peeler. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
And thank you for being here. So can you tell me what the inspiration was behind founding your nonprofit and also getting ahead of mental health issues before they arise in the first place?
Well, we really wanted to help build stronger communities by providing evidence-based mental health services. And we also want to offer resources that improve lives and, by providing knowledge, support, assistance to empower individuals and families there in our community and beyond.
Like many other counseling centers, you launched virtual therapy during the pandemic. And one of my favorite ones that you did, I thought it was so cool, was the virtual cooking class called Food as Medicine. And I imagine that it was kind of advantageous to be able to reach your clients in their kitchens. Can you tell me about what the inspiration was behind creating that and what kind of a service it did for the people who maybe needed it at the time?
Well, it was absolutely great. And the response was tremendous. Just for that, our first one, we had over 75 people register, and it was a virtual event, and it was absolutely amazing because we have a certified health coach. Her name is Annalise, and it was based and rooted on the idea and the expectation of people becoming totally well in mind, in body, and in soul. And a lot of people are trying to get healthy and get well. And so one of the things that we wanted to emphasize is that health is wealth. And so Annalise created a program, and it was an instant success. And it was a cooking class that many, and from all economic stratas, many colors, and people really enjoyed. She made it very interactive, and it was based on the need for people to obtain total wellness, especially in these down times.
And I think that we often attribute mental health and food to be very interconnected. But I think one more thing that you push the envelope even more is your Using Nutrition to Defeat Cancer series, which I also think is a really great idea. What was the idea behind that, and how can connecting food to maybe someone who is undergoing cancer treatment or maybe just received a cancer diagnosis, how can those two things, when combined, help someone's overall mental health and maybe like overall world outlook?
Listen, food is so important to one's overall health and how to. We have two separate programs, and one is Defeating Cancer with Nutrition, and that is led by Dr. Singleton and his nutritionist wife. And so that is a separate one, and that was absolutely successful when we did that several times at the Counseling and Resource Center. We found, first of all, that cancer can be cured, and if not cured, the wellness and the quality of life for the cancer patient can be enabled in a way that it can be improved through their diet. And so Defeating Cancer with Nutrition, people who either were cancer patients themselves or their family members, they were taught what types of food that they could get and eat and consume so that it will help them in their situation. So that was one. And then food as medicine, it was a different one that we were talking about with Annalise. And so we find that if in fact you emphasize a healthy mind and a body and spirit, it comes with knowing what to put in your body. Because it is an amazing thing that when your body is healthy, you will have a more clear mind. So those are two different ones, but they were very, very successful, Rebecca.
That programming just sounds amazing. And I love that the cancer series is run by a husband and wife. Talk about a power duo. So thank you so much for joining me today for this segment. And thank you so much to our viewers for tuning in to this episode of Impact Moment. It's part of DCTV's nonprofit capacity building grants program, our original programming to highlight the ways our area's nonprofits are making a difference. Stay up to date with our latest productions and tune in to our live stream at dctv.org. Thank you, Dr. Peeler.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for having us, and be blessed.
At Enterprise Community Development, we're proud to be the top nonprofit owner and developer of affordable homes in the Mid-Atlantic. Our mission is to advance housing equality by increasing housing supply, racial equity, and upward mobility. As the largest BIPOC-led affordable housing provider, we design, build, and manage affordable homes to uplift residents and communities, like Edgewood Commons, which is home to hundreds of families and seniors from all walks of life. Housing is the beginning to creating a pathway for life success. Like Edgewood, many of our communities have dedicated on-site resident services that enrich the lives of residents, connecting them to great opportunities and supports that might not otherwise be available. For over 30 years, we've seen firsthand the impact of our resident services: better health, financial independence, and a higher quality of life. We can help over 22,000 residents thrive in 115 communities in the DMV. Learn more about how you can enrich residents' lives at enterprisecommunitydevelopment.org.
From 1942 until 1970, Kenilworth Park was home to a landfill where municipal waste was burned. After it closed, the National Park Service worked to transform it into a destination. Welcome to Impact Moment, brought to you by DCTV. I'm Rebecca Burnett. Since 2007, the NPS has had special help from the Friends of Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens, a small but mighty nonprofit that's put the park on the map. I'm joined by Zerlene Hughes-Spruill, the nonprofit's Community Engagement Manager. Hi, Zerlene.
Hey there. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. So tell us, if we've never visited the park before, if someone goes to the Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens, what can they expect to see?
If someone goes to the park, Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens in Ward 7, Washington, D.C., they are going to be floored and surprised and excited. We are what people call the DC's gym, hidden gym. We have lotus ponds, we have lilies, we have magnolia trees, and we've got all these wonderful animals, and it doesn't even seem like you're in Washington, D.C. So there's a plethora of things.
And I know that one of your main missions is to combat racism and systemic racism and health disparities in our communities. And of course, the landfill being placed in that area was a result of environmental racism. How is replacing that city dump, where there are tons of toxins kind of being put in the air every day, to now this beautiful green space that you just perfectly described, how is that a huge benefit to people that live in those communities and were impacted by what was there before?
Absolutely, it is a huge benefit. So Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens is adjacent, just next door to Kenilworth Park, which was the city dump. And so instead of children playing and breathing and families having to see the eyesore of the city dump, they now have a large park that is connected to the Anacostia River Trail that is connected to Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens. And for folks to be able to have in their own neighborhood this backyard oasis, it's life-changing. I'm actually one of the residents of Eastland Gardens, and I'm able to use the park on a very regular basis. My children have gone there. They are just about adults now, and they still know that that is a place where they can find solace.
How does the nonprofit support the park and support NPS to make it a place, to make it a destination, as I said earlier?
Absolutely. So Friends of Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens supports the National Park Service in many ways. We are able to offer support where they don't necessarily have the capacity. We're able to offer resources and programming. That would include anything from volunteer cleanups on Earth Day or just any day, because it's always a great day to clean up. There's also opportunities where we can create some sort of a 30-day interactive art exhibit outdoors. We're also offering, particularly for our neighbors, opportunities to, have wellness, have fitness opportunities where it's free for Ward 7 and Ward 8 residents so that they not only can just walk through and enjoy the park, but they can have led exercises, walks, and learn a little bit more about the park.
And that sounds a little bit like your wilderness programming, which you guys launched in 2021. Of course, a lot of us were going insane during the pandemic, quarantining at home and not getting a lot of exercise. You guys actually hosted over 20 activities over 6 months and affected 200 people. What did you hear from the attendees that participated? What difference did it make for them?
Folks were really excited. I mean, it was really a struggle to be in the house, to be quarantined, to not know, when we could be out and released into nature. And so when folks learn that just across the street from their house or just a few blocks away, even a metro stop, that they could have free exercise, free Tai Chi, free yoga, free pack walks where you could bring your dog and, just roam the gardens, in addition to art classes for the entire family and so much more. They were relieved. We've heard from some people that their blood pressure has gone down. We've heard from a mother that, she was feeling not so great after having a baby, and to be able to go into the park, bring her children or come on her own and see neighbors that she hadn't seen for so many months, it was really a wonderful release and great for her mental health as well as her physical health.
Well, thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing, both for your neighbors and your community, but also for Greater DC. And thank you for joining me today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers at home for tuning in to this episode of Impact Moment. It's part of DCTV's nonprofit capacity building grants program, our original programming to highlight the ways our area's nonprofits are making a difference. Stay up to date with our latest productions and tune into our live stream at dctv.org.
The Prevention of Blindness Society has been around in our local community, serving our local community for 86 years. Children's programs are in our DNA because that's how we started. May Voorhees came from New Orleans to our local community and started doing children's vision screening in 1936. More than 80% of what a child learns is through their eyes. And so that every child has an equal opportunity in school, it's really important that they're able to see what they need to see in order to take advantage of every opportunity.
You can't see, you can't be a successful young lady or a person, an individual. You have to know what's going on and be able to see to improve yourself. I constantly wear glasses too.
Our community was saying it was hard to find a provider, it was hard to get to a provider, and we responded by bringing providers and children together in one stop. The children themselves bring so much energy and enthusiasm to their interactions with volunteers, with screeners, with doctors, and the greatest thing is to see a child get all the way through the process of an exam, and then they go to select the glasses.
I'm here to help with children's eye exams, help them get some glasses, and to do the vision screenings for the kids in the community. As a resident in ophthalmology, I think I see the need in our communities for these vision screenings. And I think it's really important for us to give back to our communities. So we're setting them up here for academic success, both inside and outside the classroom. You know, children shouldn't have to struggle to see like the classroom board or to be able to read, and that's why we're doing this today. I did have an experience with one kid that was very, very fussy when we started the vision screening. And then as soon as we got them a good pair of glasses, you could just see the mannerisms and the comfort level of the child really change.
We expect to continue to grow this year after year until we can make sure that all children in our area are cared for.
According to DC Health, more than half of all adults living in DC are overweight or obese. The nonprofit PIZZAZZ is working with families and communities in all wards to exercise residents' bodies and their minds. Welcome to Impact Moment, brought to you by DCTV. I'm Michelle McCrae, and today I'm joined by the CEO of PIZZAZZ, Judy Smith. Thank you for being here, Miss Judy.
Thank you for having me.
How is PIZZAZZ working to make obesity prevention accessible and equitable?
Okay, what we do is we do a number of activities that involves, we started out with childhood obesity, doing working with youth. We did a tutoring and dance program that allowed them to get their education and their homework done, but also exercise at the same time. Then they would also learn about healthy eating. From there, we went into the community and we've done the Battle of the DC wards, where we did a flash mob in every ward, and we just did a pop-up. And the idea is to allow people to have fun, not thinking this is a task you have to do, that you have to do every day at a certain time, and then you get sort of, you don't have that freedom. We try to give people the opportunity to have fun with what we do and to lose weight at the same time. And we went into neighborhoods and did dinners, healthy eating dinners for free, for them to enjoy and learn how to cook healthy. We found great results from this.
Now, your tutoring and dance program, which operates after school and on Saturdays, focuses on preventing obesity in children. Over 3 years, you worked with over 1,000 kids and reduced obesity by 75%. The effects of your program didn't stop with the kids. How did the positive results spill over into their households?
Well, what happened was we found out as we were doing our outcomes, we found out that the kids were influencing the households when they went grocery shopping. So this had an impact on the whole family, where they actually started eating healthier. And in turn from that, the grocery stores had to start stocking healthier foods for them to buy. We also partnered with the farmers markets to help make sure that families and communities were getting, had access to fresh farm foods.
The program is called Tutoring and Dance. Why are you extending a hand to help with academics on top of dance programming?
Because actually, believe it or not, dance helps to excel the brain and to help them think in a different and healthier ways. It impacts the brain to accentuate the intellectual impact of homework. While we're working with the homework, it excels them to think better. And in doing that, what we've found is that youth were able to excel on their test and everything that anything that's related to intellect. So we've had some really positive results on that end, and we were very happy to report that.
Miss Judy, thank you so much for joining us today. And to you, our viewers, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Impact Moment. It's part of DCTV's nonprofit capacity building grant program, our original programming to highlight the ways area nonprofits are making a difference. Stay up to date with our latest productions and tune in to our live stream at dctv.org.
Hi, my name is Dave Yarborough. I am the president of the Washington Jazz Arts Institute. After watching the video of the Impact Moment and the story about Washington Jazz Arts Institute, I realized there were a lot of things, and of course a lot of consultation with the team at DCTV. I realized a lot of things that we could do to improve our production, and of course the networking that we got with all of the meetings we had with other nonprofits. Giving Tuesday impacts the Washington Jazz Arts Institute by allowing us to get our word out. It's a great media, social media and media outlet to make people aware of our existence.
Thank you for joining us during our 24-hour special event for Giving Tuesday. We are so glad that you're here with us as we celebrate the incredible work of nonprofit organizations in our community. I'm Julia Reardon, Director of Programs and Services here at DCTV. In 2019, DCTV launched a unique nonprofit program to help local organizations boost their message and their mission. We help nonprofits of all sizes share stories, reach more people, and increase impact for a stronger DC. Through engaging interviews and original programs, we focus on the issues that matter most to our community. To learn more about this valuable program for local nonprofits, visit us online at dctv.org. We can help tell your stories of positive change in our community. To find out more about the nonprofits we serve, scan this QR code. You can also like, subscribe, and follow us at Your DCTV on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching Meaningful Media on DCTV.